We are here at Gingerman Raceway for Bagger Racing League's rounds 5 and 6.
Correct.
Am I correct there?
Yep.
So this is just kind of wrapping up our Super Street Build series videos, and I asked a couple of racers here and builders to kind of give us their unique perspective on, the Super Street class and what they think of it, how they got into it, why they're here. So I'm joined by Jay from Jaybird's Custom Cycles, Mike, the racing drag rep, my man Jason Owens, Matt, I forgot your last name. Maldonado, and Jake McGuire. These guys are out of Kentucky, and these two guys are out of North Carolina. All right, and we're some Utah boys.
Utah, baby.
So let's just get going with Jason Owens, just not to be confused with our other Jay here. But this has been your first season. We built your bike, early this year. This is now your third weekend out or fourth weekend with your track day. But just give us a little bit on how it's been getting out here racing. Because, just to tell everybody, this is the first form of racing that you've ever done. So just kind of tell us how you feel.
Yeah, so when we did the first video, I'd never set foot on track, and I thought it was going to be a lot easier transition from street to track condition. As you know, we went out to Chuckwalla, and I got it handed to me, straight up. We went out there for that racer school. Turned out it wasn't really a racer school, kind of what Matt is probably getting this weekend. And then what I eventually got out at Utah, I was probably really a fish out of water. You saw it, you were there. If I had not had you and some of the guys just to kind of calm me down and just really coach me and help me out, I don't know if, I think I probably would still be here, but it would have been a lot more difficult road, no doubt. The track is a different beast. I think it can no doubt just chew you up and spit you out if you've never been on it. I think from there, Chuckwalla, we went up back to home to Utah. I got into that racer school with AZ and the guys out there at Utah Motorsports Complex, and man, those guys were really a game changer. I think helping me out, and and then I've got these guys around me. I've got Jake McGuire. I think I picked up with Jake and Mike almost immediate, at the first race, and these guys have really helped me out. Even Mike and I were just talking just 5 minutes ago about he swapped bars, and just talking about today. I was really scraping my pipe over there on turn 2, and he's like, bro, you've got to get off your bike, and a lot of it is that technique. I think coming from street onto track, feeling these bikes. We're doing +4s, mid controls, high performance brakes, the motors, and then trying to control that and then get your setup what you're comfortable with. Seats is key. Jake let me borrow his seat. Sly Fox I still want to get my hands on, a lot more comfortable. So man, it's been a huge transition, from the street canyon riding. I think I even talked with Matt earlier. We thought we were all good riders on the street, and you get to the track and you're like, dude, what's going on, man? I suck.
Track humbles you real
straight
quick.
humble pie.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I've been progressing. I'm still not catching these guys like Mike here. He's got me by 10 seconds. I still got that 10-second gap to try to get up into the pack, and all I gotta do is just try to keep working at it and keep working on technique, getting off that bike, and just working that skill. But hopefully that helped out on where I came from.
All right, all of our video series are sponsored by the Law Tigers. Law Tigers are there when you're in need. If you guys are ever in a motorcycle accident, please get in contact with your local Law Tigers rep. They'll make sure you get taken care of. So I think my takeaway from all that, and just, for the listeners, and if you're watching this wanting to get into racing, I think that the key takeaway is that first racer school or, track day. We kind of, realize now in hindsight that, going out to that track day that we did, they didn't really offer, schooling, or you didn't go out with an instructor or anything like that. They just kind of threw you out there with sport bike guys, and that was kind of the wrong approach. So I guess the recommendation would be like find a track day that they're going to kind of take you under their wing, kind of show you the race lines, get you comfortable out there before they just throw you into the fire. So I think that's probably the key takeaway is just getting comfortable.
I think now, I can go out on a track and I can find that race line. It may take a couple laps, but whereas before where I had really no clue what was going on, now I can kind of just come out, just pick up a pace and catch them, and kind of go from there. And then of course watch these guys and talk with other racers as well. So it's definitely helped out. Good community out here with the track guys, man. I love the camaraderie and love seeing all these guys at every race. So that's another thing too.
Yeah. So moving on to the left here, Mike. You're a drag rep. You're in the industry.
Yep. Been in the industry my whole life, and now I'm a drag rep, and now I'm a racing drag rep, and having a good time doing it.
No, it's cool. Maybe walk us through, have you ever raced anything before, and what made you decide to come out here and race in the Super Street class?
So, many years ago, I used to race motocross and some supermoto, and I used to do track days on sport bikes here and there, but never got serious about doing any sort of racing on a full-size motorcycle. Again, raced supermoto, had a blast doing that, but it's a bike that's a fraction of the size and a lot less power. When Rob came up with the whole bagger racing deal with the King of the Baggers, I was hooked instantly. I was like, man, that's cool. I was a performance bagger guy. And I always wanted to do it, but making that step is hard. You really got to have somebody in my corner like Jay that can help you out and get the bike set up for you and listen to what you say and change the bike accordingly and have that help. And man, once I finally moved out here, or actually in North Carolina, we're in Michigan right now, but moved to North Carolina and became Jay's rep. We became good friends real quick, and he was on board, man. He was all in, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to do that with. And he's helping me out, get faster, get the bike built. Yelling at me, definitely yelling at me. It's what he does.
So let me ask you just real quick. Obviously you guys are working together. You're teammates, if you will.
Yep.
Would you recommend someone that is wanting to get into this to maybe seek out their local independent shop, or maybe even Harley Davidson, dealership?
100%.
And say, hey, I want to go racing.
100%.
What do you think about partnering with us?
That is the key. I mean, to go out here on your own, you can do it. It's doable. Like a lot of you guys, the pioneers, came out, did it by themselves, and it's awesome. To do it by yourself is super hard. You got to have somebody involved. Have an independent shop like Jaybird's Custom Cycles or Louisville Harley Davidson, and man, to have that backing is crucial.
Yeah.
So more shops need to come out and do this.
For sure.
Have fun.
Independent or franchise shops. I mean, whatever it is.
Correct. And you'll learn a ton. I mean, Jay is an amazing mechanic, but I know that by doing this, it's helped him out, tremendously on.
Well, that's and that's a. Hold on, But that's a perfect segue, because I wanted to ask Jay. One of the questions I had for him is as an independent shop, obviously you're a good qualified mechanic. Has this benefited maybe your skill set and also your business and your shop?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, none of us know everything. All of us are always trying to learn. I seek out knowledge. I like to learn different techniques. Having the shop and coming out here and racing, it's a very specially balanced, you know, that has to be balanced. You have to be able to put 50-50 and, you know, 100% into everything. We're just able to bring our other guys out this weekend for the first time. They're really
the guys that work at your shop?
Yep.
Okay.
They're really enjoying themselves. You know, they're learning a lot.
Yeah.
Forrest, our new guy, he's actually 16, still in high school.
Oh, geez.
But he spends every second he's got at the shop, and he loves it. And since he started coming around, you know, we hired him full time, and he's doing great. You know, he's got a lot to learn, but we all do.
For sure. And I've noticed one thing, like, you know, for our team, you know, the Tucker Speed team, I bring, you know, Jay's a technician at the shop, you know, all the other dudes over there under the tent they all work for me, and it's actually been a good team building. So, you know, when we go back to work, we're all kind of fired up, and, you know, we want to go back and kick butt, and all my guys are also here, all learning all this same stuff we're figuring out on the racetrack. So, like, it's almost educational for the crew too.
Yeah, and competition drives the world.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we don't have to hate each other to enjoy the competition.
Yeah.
That's what's nice about this is I can go over and I can ask Jake for help and he'll provide it. Or
For sure.
I can come to Tony and, you know, we can go to anybody and ask for help, borrow a tool. Hey, you got a part? You know, what can I do to get faster? How do you brake so late? You know, everybody's here to enjoy themselves and the camaraderie, like they were saying.
Yeah, there's definitely a good camaraderie. One last question for you, Jay, is just, you know, on the build side, like, you know, kind of building Mike's bike and putting this together, a fairly easy bike to put together and build for a guy that wants to get into this. I mean, obviously that's you know, it's hard because, I mean, I'm sure you're the same way. A guy comes in and says, hey, could I do my top end myself? Well, you could probably do it with your eyes closed, but you don't know the skill set of the guy asking the question, right? So I know it's a hard one to ask, but, you know, I guess what I'm getting at is I want people to realize that these bikes are not anything that any of your, you know, independent shops probably couldn't put together, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have an understanding of how the bike is going to react, the geometry of the suspension, how the motor is set up. You know, you gotta, it all is one big formula that you got to, and then you got to have somebody like Mike that can give you feedback in a way that you can understand it to get the bike changed again. So, I mean, as long as you have an understanding and the means and know how to do it, I mean, it's you just got to get out there. You got to
get out there. And the other thing too is that the camaraderie that's right here in these pits doesn't get turned off when we leave here. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get into this and you want to build a bike, you could call any one of us sitting right here or message us on Instagram or Facebook and say, hey, how do I do this? Or how should I do that? Or what about this suspension? Or what about, you know what I mean? And that camaraderie exists. And I mean, I've had conversations with everybody, you know, asking questions about, you know, this or that. And I've asked the same questions of other teams and racers. And so that camaraderie can also help you, you know, build that bike and at least come out here for the first go round with, you know, somewhat of a, you know, well put together motorcycle that's going to be able to come out here and and get it going. So yeah, thanks, Jay. Move on to the Kentucky boys over here. Matt, just real quick, this is your first ever road race this weekend. You got a drag racing background. You're a technician or service manager?
Service manager.
Okay.
Fixed operations
Okay.
manager.
You're riding a Dyna. You kind of, you know, hinted earlier that you were maybe thinking about a bagger, but maybe just walk us through like what it is to get on the track, first go around out here, and what your experience today has been like.
Yeah, so my first time ever on a track was about 3 weeks ago with Jake McGuire. We went to the Fast Line track days and did a lap at the Corvette track and had a lot of fun. My Dyna was not very set up then for a track. I mean, it's a fast bike, but I thought it was fast. I could ride it to its limits on the street. But then I got to the track and realized those limits are nothing out here. And so had to change some things before coming out this weekend. So I raised the suspension on the rear another inch and the front a half inch, just out of some simple little things I could do. Scott over with A1, again, you guys were talking about everybody helping each other out. He was able to send me some new mid controls for my dyno that moved my feet half an inch up and 2 inches back. So those little things was huge difference out here. So
Sure. Yeah.
so yeah, everybody has really helped a lot in getting my bike together, especially Jake. I mean, I don't know how many text messages in the last few days I've been sending, probably 20 a day. I mean, realistically. Yeah, I mean, I had lots of questions, even how to drill holes for the lacing wire. I mean, like, those axles are a pain,
Yeah.
but we got it done. He helped me out and answered all my questions and was able to get me out here. So the dyno was always kind of just to get me out there. What actually got me to the track, about 2-3 months ago, I just bought a 24 CVO-ST.
Wow.
I was riding
Where do you work again? Because I need a job.
Well, I mean, it comes with some benefits.
There you go.
A guy traded it in about a year after he bought it.
Okay.
So I got that,
Yeah.
a good discount right off the floor. Well, I was out riding with my group, Club Style Louisville, and I was out in some back roads towards Frankfurt in front of the group and hit some gravel and put the bike down and totaled it.
Dang.
So to convince my old lady to get out here, I told her, I'm done riding that hard on the streets because that's not the place to do it. And I want to just start going to the track. And I know my buddy Jake does it, and he was really what made it seem possible.
Yeah.
Like, I know somebody that's actually out there doing it. So he invited me to the fast line. Actually, it's been like 3 months now. He's been trying to get me to come to the last few track days and kept pushing it off. And then finally went down, and I realized if I'm going to keep riding, because I'm not giving it up, I need to get out there and go on the track. So
I think that's actually a really good point because, all of us, we've gone, we hop on the bike, run through the canyons, and all of us are what we think was fast, right?
Yep.
And I mean, it makes me feel old when I say this, but it's like, that's pretty irresponsible, right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm not sure what your situation is, but we all have, wives and kids and businesses and all those things. And to go out into a canyon and just try and push the limits, I mean, we're dealing with gravel, we're dealing with wildlife, we're dealing with oncoming traffic or someone pulling out in front of you. Like, there's just, the risk factor is so high, right? Like, yeah, out here we're going a lot faster, but it's still a lot safer.
I think that was the biggest difference is out here, like on the road, you'll give it like 30 seconds, maybe a minute of like everything you got.
Yeah.
And then something comes up. You got something coming out, a car, a cop, something.
Yep.
Out here, I mean, it's 15, 20 minutes of just everything you got. And that's what really, I guess, separates it.
For sure.
I can make one turn really well because I know it. But out here, I mean, you don't know it, you got to learn it, and there's just so much skill involved.
Yeah.
And I like to push myself. I like to have fun. So this is pushing everything I have, and not only myself, but my motorcycle too.
Yeah.
Just the changes I made from the first track day to now. And again, talking about street versus here, I went out about 3 days ago after getting the bike fully together, tech ready, and on the streets, to the same roads I would always ride, and I was literally scared of the bike.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I could always drag pegs on these turns, and I'm just way up there. I'm like, man. But then I come out here, and again, after a couple laps, figure out the track, it's dragging. It's going down, and I need more. I need more lean angle.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go another inch in the rear and move some other things around. But, I mean, the track really pushes the machine more than you'll ever see on the street.
It definitely does that. So, well, thanks, Matt. Hopefully we'll see you maybe out on a bagger at one point here in the next year or two.
Heck
Be
yeah,
cool to see. But it's awesome to see you out here on the dyno, coming out here. Like you said, you had a friend that was kind of pushing you, that you could lean on, ask questions. If you're watching this video, you now have 6 friends you can lean on. Reach out to any one of us, and you'll be Matt here at the next race.
Heck yeah, I'd be happy to help. I know Jake would too.
Yeah, Jake. So I just want to touch on kind of your road racing setup, career, if you will. We'll call it that. But this is actually your second year with BRL. Last year you raced in the air-cooled class on a Softail, M8 Softail, and this year you decided to jump up and build a bagger. walk us through that decision and kind of, why you wanted to get on the bagger and how's it been going so far?
I love the bagger for starters. Like, that thing is an absolute blast to ride. I enjoy it more than the softail. Like, I had a really good time last year racing that thing, but the turnouts weren't really great at those rounds. They're better this year for that class, but the softail class was pretty dead, so I was kind of racing against myself or guys that just way outclassed me, and it didn't really have the appeal of the super street class. Is pretty decent size. Like, you've got to race no matter what position you're in. So it was really just being able to get out there with more.
The appeal of larger class and just the bagger itself just being.
Yep. Yeah.
Has one bike been easier to ride than the other?
The bagger for sure.
Has been easier?
Yeah. It kind of surprised me. Wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
But the softail's it's lightweight. It's twitchy. It's going to take you for a ride.
Sure.
The bagger's very predictable. It's going to have some unsettling and some wobbles, but it's coming, and it's an easy bike to ride.
I think that's another good point for anyone to this. These are big motorcycles, and they look like they're, kind of and don't get me wrong, you got to muscle them around here, but they're actually very capable out on the track.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can throw them around, move them around. They're heavy, but man, if you get the suspension and get all the ergonomics all set up, they're very capable motorcycles. So, like I said, this video series has been trying to help you guys get informed on, getting into racing. If you're watching this and you want to get out here and race, come out here and race with us. If you have questions, please reach out to any one of us. Wow, my dog just freaked out.
What's wrong with you?
Reach out to any one of us. I think, reach out to myself. Any one of these guys, I think, would be more than happy to answer your questions. If you want to come out and ride with us on a track day or whatever, look into your local areas, your local track organizations, see what they have for you guys. But I would challenge you as a racer, independent shop, Harley-Davidson dealership, come out here and race with us. It's been, it's exciting to get out here on the track as racers, as shops. It's super beneficial, and it's a lot of adrenaline. It's a lot, man. I want to thank you guys for just kind of, telling your stories on how it's been getting into the racing, and appreciate it. Look forward to the rest of the weekend and hanging out with you guys. I consider all you guys, good friends now. I love coming out to the races and hanging out with you guys, and I would love to get more of them out and hang out with us. So thanks. Yep.